Hi there, Bolt owners. Today in your 2012 Chevrolet Volt, we're going to be installing Curt's 4-pole flat trailer connector vehicle wiring harness. This will provide you with all the lighting functions that you need for any accessory that you have on the back of your vehicle. So when you got your cargo carrier on there loaded up with gear that may be blocking your taillights, the lights on your cargo carrier can be illuminated, which includes your left turn signal, right turn signal, tail lamps, and brake lamps, keeping you DOT compliant in all states. Now you do want to keep in mind that this harness is really for accessories on this vehicle because it's not recommended to tow with your Chevy Volt. Located on the end of our connector, you'll find a dust cap that can be inserted on it to keep out any dirt, debris, and moisture to ensure a long-lasting connection. The circuits are protected by the module that's located inside. This module has its own power supply straight from the battery. It monitors the inputs from your taillight assemblies and then sends its own signal to our 4-pole connector to produce those lights back on our accessories. What's nice about this is that if there's any faults on the wiring on your accessories, the module will see that and shut down those circuits. In the event it's unable to shut down the circuit in time, the powered wire that goes to our module has an inline fuse, and that fuse will open so it won't affect any of the wiring that's on your Volt. And when you're finished using your wiring, you can simply wrap it up, store it inside your compartment, and now it's out of sight and out of your way. We'll begin our installation at the back of the vehicle with our lift gate open and your back cover lifted up so we can access the components here at the back. On each side, we're going to remove the access panel. You simply just push in and that cover comes off. We'll set that aside. Now you don't really need to take your entire cover out back here. It is going to make it easier. You do have access panels for your battery where we'll need to make some connections. But just to make it easier to route the wires, there's 4 nuts we're going to remove with a 10mm socket. 1 in each corner. And we can then lift this up. Now you can take it all the way out if you want. We're not going to be taking it all the way out. We're just going to be lifting it up so that we can more easily route our wiring. Okay. We can now reach inside of our panels here, and there will be a connector inside for your taillight assembly. We're going to go ahead and unplug that. You can kind of see here the wiring that goes up towards the taillight. The easiest way to find it is to just grab that wire with your hand and follow it until it meets the connector that goes into the taillight assembly. Once you get that, there'll be a release tab you just press down and pull out on the assembly. You'll be following the shorter wire that's coming off the larger loom. Then we can pull it out and it's going to look like this. We'll be doing the same thing on the other side. We'll now take the quick splices that come in our kit and we're going to start making our connections. We'll start with the yellow and white wire on our driver's side. We're going to slide the quick splice that comes in the kit onto our wire. Once you've got that slid on, you can take the brown wire and we're going to slide it into the other side of the quick splice. This is going to be for our taillights. And then we'll use a pair of Channellocks, squeeze the splice down into the wire. We can then push the cover over and lock it in place. We're now going to do the exact same thing with our yellow and brown wire, and that one's going to connect to the yellow wire off of our module. Once you've made both of those connections, you can plug your connector back into your taillight assembly. We'll then connect our ground wire to the ground stud located in that same compartment. We're going to use a 10mm socket to remove the nut. We can then slide our white wire over the stud. Our white wire is our ground wire, and reinstall the nut. Our red wire isn't used on this setup, so it must be grounded since it's not going to be used. So we're going to go ahead and pull our red wire over. Use another quick splice. Slide the quick splice over the white wire. And slide the red wire in. And just like we did on the other wires, we use a pair of Channellocks to squeeze the splice down. Now we can take the included fuse harness and black wire, and we're going to connect those to our module to power the module. we'll first want to separate out our black wire from our module. It's already stripped. Take the yellow butt connector from your Modulite installation kit, crimp that onto the black wire, and the other end of your black wire is going to attach to the black wire. We'll connect that black wire to the other side of our butt connector. Now you won't need all the wire that comes in the kit. Most vehicles have a battery located in the front, so you'll need more wire to get to those, but since our battery on our volts here at the back, we really only need just a short piece. We'll now take the green and the black wire that's coming off of our module, and we're going to need to route those over to the other side. Now the black one we can stop when we get about midway where our battery is, but the green has to continue all the way to the passenger side. So we're going to go around from the inside out underneath this panel in order to do this. We've got our black wire to the center. We'll leave that. The green wire we want to continue on all the way till we get to the other side. Now once you get to this side, it is going to be a little tricky. You're not going to be able to just reach your arm around there. You're going to need to use some sort of fish wire. We're going to be using a piece of Airline tubing. If you don't have any Airline tubing, a coat hanger also works pretty well because you can bend that and manipulate it to get it around. So we're just going to feed this until it comes out down towards the bottom. Now that our fish wire's fed through, we'll take our green wire, we're going to tape it to it using some electrical tape. We're going to be connecting it on this side just like we did on the driver's side. We'll be making our connection to the green and purple wire on our connector here. Take your fuse harness, we're going to cut it in half, and we're going to strip back each end that we just cut. On one end of our fuse harness, we're going to crimp a ring terminal, and on the other end, you'll be crimping a yellow butt connector. Our battery's located right there. We'll lift up on the positive cover. You'll see a nut located there. We're going to remove that. We'll use a 13mm socket to do that. Take the ring terminal, slide it over the post, and then reinstall the nut. We'll then take our black wire. I'm going to trim it down a little bit more. I do like to leave myself a little excess just in case we need it in the future for rerouting or potentially repairs. We're going to strip back the black wire, and this is going to crimp to the other side of our yellow butt connector. Now insert the fuse that comes in your kit into your harness, close it up, and you're ready to now test it out. I recommend testing it out before reassembling the back of your vehicle to make sure everything's working properly and all your quick splices made a good connection. You can plug it into your trailer or into a tester, like the one we have here at Etrailer.com, to do that. You'll want to make sure that you have your left turn signal, right turn signal, tail lamps, and brake lamps. We'll take the double-sided tape that comes in the kit. We're going to affix it to the back of the module. Peel off the adhesive backing, and then find a mounting place in the compartment here to put it. You could put it on the plastic pieces here. Our customer was using that to store things, so we're going to go to the metal wall back behind that and just stick it on right there. We can then take our wiring, we're just going to tuck it down in there. You can use some of the included zip ties to secure that to keep it out of the way. As far as your 4-pole connector, this is just going to wrap up and store inside of this compartment here. With everything back in place, you're all set, and you don't even notice that your wiring's there because it's located behind the compartment. When you're ready to use your wiring, simply open up your panel, take your wiring and drape it over the back. You just want to avoid the striker located in the middle. And now you can plug it in and get all the lightings on whatever accessory you've got plugged into your hitch. And that completes our installation of Curt's 4-pole flat trailer connector vehicle wiring harness on our 2012 Chevrolet Volt.